Ms. Boardman, Dr. Boardman, this is Sonia Wilson with OPB as well. She does processing transactions. She works on our HR team with me here at OPB. So, and there's a lot of the hard work. So just wanted
Okay.
to introduce her because I don't know if you've ever spoken with her or anything like that. Um, so we'll start off with, I guess, all of let you ask the questions to make sure we get everything answered, and not just kind of start in the middle. So I want you to ask the questions so we can make sure we get everything answered that you would like an answer to, or at least if we need to get back to you about something, we'll know that as well too.
Okay, so I've understand through correspondence through Christina that about how the situation happened. So my first question is, I understand now you determined there was an issue, but why could the resolution not have waited one more pay period so that I, on my end, could process this, have the opportunity to develop a set of questions? Because I'm feeling a lot of stress and pressure financially and just business wise, trying to I'm highly skilled at what I do, but I'm not highly skilled in the area of HR and retirement. And I'm feeling like the expectation is I need to be overnight. And that is causing me a lot of stress and pressure. So I guess my first question is why? I understand you found an issue. Why now was there a sense of urgency on your part that this had to be handled immediately instead of waiting one more pay period so there could be some conversation time?
So time frame is not necessarily something that we have the right to say. It comes through payroll, which is SAO, that kind of dictates the number of payments. And Sonia jump in, of course, that are part of that. So it's not a decision that we necessarily, we being OPB, we being HR with OPB necessarily made. That was something we had to get with SAO payroll. So that was a decision. So we don't necessarily be the one to say that.
So what am I hearing is that you're saying you all determined that I had contributions not going to the correct account. So then you reached out to SAO, then SAO decided that this had to be the date that this had to be fixed. Is that what I'm hearing?
We reached out to SAO and advised them that you were asking for, a length of paying a timeline to pay the error and amount back in the time frame. So they responded with the time frame. Now we can, I guess, try to go back again and try to see, but that was the time frame they responded back to us with.
I guess what I'm asking is instead of the May 31st payroll, is it possible that it could all be taken out in June 15th? Because right now I literally have 3 business days to try to work with, I've rent, I have, things I have to pay for. And I don't, I mean, this is a short amount of notice, whether it's 3 payments or 1 payment. So from my viewpoint, I know you guys found an issue, which we need to talk about the issue because I still don't actually understand the issue, and then remedy you all training me on this issue so that I can make good, coherent, wise financial decisions for myself and my family. But I'm not sure how the decision for May 31st was determined. Why can't that be June 15th so we could have these conversations so that the stress level comes down extreme, at least on my end, so I have time to understand what's going on.
Right. Well, all I can do at this point is, again, like I said, it's not up to us to make that, but we can go out and we can go back to SAO. And so let me just make sure. So you're willing or are saying that you could pay the one-time amount on 6/15 if that option is available at that point.
Yes, but I don't want to answer that question until I understand, because I've actually been, somehow I was able to pay into a system and I guess I wasn't, but then part of it you can refund. So I need to understand conceptually the whole thing, then be educated on this Georgia Defined Contribution Plan. I need the whole understanding before I can make a decision. Does that make sense? Because this is all being thrown at me with not a lot of framework. I looked back on the 218 notes that Sonia sent me, all the PowerPoints. None of this was provided to me. What was provided to me was what I did virtually, through selecting the stuff on the portal. So you're approaching me with a person with zero knowledge. And so I just need to understand to make a decision. But it would be better for me to be able to financially handle any kind of deduction if that's needed after June 15th. So I have a little bit of time to take care of my personal financial obligations on my end and budget. Does that make sense?
Shelley, and Felicia, my understanding though is that in order for that to be an option, if it is an option, your first check, your May 31st check would have to be, there's absolutely no choice, Shelley. If you want to delay that payment, your 531 check will have to be a paper check. So any changes we make after now, that's going to happen. You wouldn't have a choice. So that you kind of have to make that decision first, because it doesn't matter like what we decide to do. And correct me if I'm wrong, Felicia, but if we don't do all of it on the 31st, then your 531 check will be paper. Is that correct?
Right. So if whatever if the decision is to, and if it's a possibility to have a 615 payout of all this or whatever, then 531, correct, will have to be, because we have to reverse the deduction. And at this point, because payroll confirms about 5 to 7 days prior to actual pay day. So that's the reason why it seems like it's a rush too, because payroll confirms about a week before we actually get paid in the system. So payroll actually confirmed yesterday afternoon at 3 p.m. So that's why at this point, we would have to go through the process of getting the direct deposit, although it hasn't been put in your bank account yet, having to get it reversed. So yes, to answer Christina's question, or to elaborate on that, at this point, even if it's not, whatever the decision is made of how the arrangement ends up being, if it's switched to another, it would have to be a paper check this cycle, because we're going to have to reverse even the deduction that was put in there to be taken out at this point. So it would have to be a paper check regardless of that, if you decide to move
So can we just talk through the paper check process? So how does the paper check get distributed? Who mails that? All that kind of stuff. What's the timeline for that?
Okay, so that's why so to back up to the last question first of who mails it, it's mailed directly from the mailroom. Because of COVID, we don't have any checks that come here to where we issue them, can't issue them out at this point.
Felicia,
yeah.
When you say the mailroom, what do you mean?
Oh, so the mailroom is actually over at Twin Towers. So when payroll system, they go through and submit for payroll, checks are automatically issued or printed in the mail, which is housed over at they have a mailroom at 2 MLK here in the basement floor down there. So when payroll goes through their system and they hit payroll and whatever it is that they hit to make the checks push out, then it actually goes there and it goes straight from there. They put it in the mail to be mailed out from there. So that timeline I can't give you in regards to the reissue, is because there's a couple of different parts to that. That starts with us having to email our accounting director to say, can you please do a stop direct deposit or bank account reversal on, this Dr. Boardman's account, da, 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 da. And so then he has to then send that to the bank that you bank with. And some banks are quicker than others. So I can't say if they respond back by this afternoon, if you say yes, or tomorrow or Thursday. So that's why I was saying I don't know, because it all depends on how fast your bank responds to the reversal request or the stop direct deposit request. And then we move it to payroll, and then payroll then has to go in their system and do what they do in regards to getting the check reissued in the system for it to be printed.
Is there a person I can contact over in the check so I can at least understand it? Like, this is what they do every day. So like a theoretical, like this is the typical timeline when something like this happens, because I need to know the difference between 2 days, 15 days, 20 days. I'm going to need some more information in order to make that decision.
So I missed that first part, Dr. Boardman. You said I didn't know if you were asking if there was someone you could talk to, or I kind of missed that first part there.
Yeah, so I feel there's somebody confident, whatever department is paper check distribution, that can at least tell me based upon their prior experience, what is a timeline for something like this? Because it's significant to me, whether it's 2 days in the mail, 15 days in the mail. I have no prior life experience to frame this. So that would be a piece that I would need to understand in order for me to make a decision about May 31st or June 15th.
Okay, so I guess we would have to.
So do you have a suggestion of who I can contact, or how should I proceed on that?
Well, we have persons over at payroll, so we can reach out to them and see if they're available to possibly get on a call or speak with you and everything. I don't
Okay,
want
thank
to, because I don't know who they would have talked to. I mean, we talked to several people over there, so I don't know who there's several people that deal with OPB's payroll, so I don't know
Okay.
who the person ended up talking to. That's why I was like, I need to find out who
Okay,
that
great.
person is and when they're available. So I don't want to just give a name. I know we talked to several people, so I can look into that.
Sh- Felicia, how much time do we have in order to reverse the direct deposit?
I mean, today, I mean, if the decision is to be made, the earlier the better, because I would think, again, not knowing how each bank and how fast they can get it done, but I would imagine the earlier that we can get the email to our accounting director and we can send that request in, probably the better. So the sooner the better, if it's going to be for either for the 615 or the 531. Either it's the sooner the better. That's all I can say. The
Could
sooner
you,
the better.
do we even know? I mean, I have two questions. Do we know that we can delay it? And if so, could 6:30, is that another option? And then number two, is there like I know you said as soon as possible, but it's as soon as possible. Is there a deadline for as soon as possible? Like after this date, it's no longer possible.
Yeah, I can't say that. I mean, we have, honestly, have to do a reversal, like maybe the day before or something like that. So I can't say that there's a deadline, on the thing, but because we've had it actually, honestly, some situation that on the day of payday, we've done this. I can't necessarily say that there's a certain time frame. I just only can say the sooner the better, and that way we can get a response back from the bank that happened.
In other words, it doesn't happen. It doesn't need to happen today. Is kind of where I was going with that.
Well, if it doesn't happen today, I think payday is scheduled for Friday because of the holiday. So yeah, and that might be a Chris Duggar may be able to give, who's our accounting director, may be able to give a better answer if there's a true deadline of like, but I know we've had that happen before, but I can't tell you for accounting purposes what's the best type of scenario. I'm sure the sooner the better, but Chris Duggar will probably be the better person to answer that since he's over accounting and kind of he handles that part. We just send him an email and he handles that part. So
I'll email him and see if I can get an answer. My other question, and Shelley, tell me if if these questions not relevant, let me know.
Okay.
But Felicia, do we know that it is an option to postpone the payment? I mean, it seems to me if we postponed it until now, surely we could postpone it longer.
well, I don't know necessarily if it's been postponed. Because there was deductions that was according to what was processed in the system. So I can't necessarily say payments have been postponed. It was just they were being deducted in accordance of what was information that was provided for us to enter, and that was what was entered. So I don't want to necessarily say it's been postponed thus far, but I don't know. Again, we have to reach back out to to payroll and ask that question. They're the one that gave us the dates that we provided, so we would then have to turn back around and see if that will be an option for 6/15. If and I know they don't like, and I think
Or 6:30.
or 6/30. I know they try not to push out too many to get recoups, for whatever reasons, whether it's a health coverage recoup or an overpayment recoup or whatever it is. They try not to push it out too far. But we can ask the question if Dr. Boardman is trying to potentially make a decision about having the one payment come out on 6/15 as opposed to May 31st.
Okay. I mean, I would like to delay if possible, but again, I just need to understand the whole check hard copy, because it theoretically be I'm going to get paid twice, one via hard copy and one via digital virtual on June 15th because of the delay of the check. So that solves nothing for me. So once we figure out the payment, the physical hard copy schedule, then that will give me the ability to then make a decision.
I'll reach out to. She's on the site for Michigan.
So my next question is, so on February 18th, I received the benefits package. I went to the various websites and completed the paperwork virtually. Since 2/26, approximately $191.21 has been before tax deducted into GSEPS 401k 50 and then tier 2. So that I've been contributing that since my position went to salaried. So my question is, I'm not sure. I guess I need to understand the Georgia Defined Contribution Plan just generically for now, and that if I've been paying, why can't it go towards whatever I have to pay? And then how come the refund of 159 can go towards that, but I've been contributing to the plan that I was given in the PowerPoint and that I was able to click when I went through Teamworks or whatever it's called. So I guess, can you just walk me through that, please?
Okay, I'm gonna let Sonia. Sonia, can you kind of give Ms. Boardman the differences between the two plans and the information that she's provided on 218 and why and that information, please.
Okay, Dr. Boardman, on 218, the information you provided was the information that we give employees who are salaried employees. So that's why you received the information regarding the 401k, regarding the health coverage. We have never had an employee that worked 80%, 75% that was not a part of the ERS retirement system. We reached out to ERS. They stated the same thing. We also contacted payroll. They've never had an issue with that as well, where an employee has worked less than 80% and they were not a part of ERS.
Okay.
So
Hold on, Sonia,
Yes.
let me interrupt.
Okay.
I don't understand what you just said, because ERS, I mean, according to
There's-
ERS's manual, you are only eligible to participate in ERS if
Right.
you're over a certain percent, and Shelley doesn't qualify. So I don't understand what you just said.
Well, the positions are driven, her enrollment in the retirement system is driven by her position. Hourly employees that are eligible for Georgia Defined Contribution Plan, that's for hourly employees, that's for our interns, also for if we have an employee that's more or less hourly employees, intern, temporary, part-time employees, they're eligible for Georgia Defined Contribution Plan. In the past, we've always had an employee, if that employee was 70%, 67%, because we've had that with another agency, they're always placed in the retirement plan under ERS. ERS, they're not part of the Georgia Defined Contribution Plan.
So then it is my understanding that I'm getting taken $956.34 to go into the Georgia Defined Contribution Plan. Is that what's happening?
That is correct, because after I was not privy to the initial conversation with Christina, we were asked to place you in the Georgia Defined Contribution Plan.
Now,
Because
Sonia, that's,
okay, so I was not privy to that because with regards to the employer paying a portion of the retirement. So under Georgia Defined Contribution Plan, the employer does not pay into that, only the employee pays into that. So that's why you're sitting at $159 because you're paying 7.5% going into the Georgia Defined Contribution Plan, where under ERS as a salaried employee, you're contributing 1.25%. So that's where the $26 and I think 57 cents was coming out each month. That's the amount that would be refunded back to you, which is, I have it here, what's that total
I think
amount?
159.42.
Right, that's the total amount that's being refunded back to you after we were asked to move you from the zero record and move you into Georgia Defined Contribution as a part of the retirement plan. So that's why that amount is being refunded back to you. We were notified by payroll, if you're moving this employee, they said, well, we don't see this on the norm. ERS did the same thing. We don't see this on the norm. They even questioned it and said we had to reach out. We told them, well, we reached out to SAO, payroll shared services, say we don't see this on the norm. So we had to get someone else involved in at SAO because normally if an employee is a salary employee, whether they're working 70%, 80%, they're always in ERS, GSEP. They're in that plan. So we were told to take you out of that plan and place you under Georgia Defined Contribution. So that's why we're having to refund you back the $159.42. When we submitted this information to payroll, first they contacted us back. No, this person is on a zero record. They can't be a part of Georgia Defined Contribution Plan. That's what we were told initially. And we explained to them, well, we spoke with another representative there at SAO. They said it is possible. It is not the norm. So when we submitted this information to payroll, they stated, well, if you're placing this employee on the Georgia, taking them off of Georgia Defined Contribution, no, excuse me, placing them on Georgia Defined Contribution, we're going to have to recoup those payments. So they sent an email to us stating for the 531 pay period, you need to submit a spreadsheet with for us to recoup payments from 2/28 through 5/15. That's
So,
we submitted
okay,
that
so,
back to payroll.
okay, but with whatever clicks I did, I'm actually in GSEPs,
No,
GSEPS.
you were not, initially you were not in GSEP. We just had SAO to go in to delete the record we had you in. You were under the regular retirement system for salaried employees. So once we contacted SAO, high upper in XAO, they actually we had to submit a request over to HCM for them to delete that row. So SAO, they in turn removed you from ERS and place you in Georgia Defined Contribution effective 2/18.
So I'm looking, for example, at my 226 paycheck stub through
Mhm.
all my other paycheck stubs, and
Okay.
each before tax deduction, $191.25 is going into GSEPS.
You're under, that is your 401k plan. It's totally two different things that you're looking at. You have the traditional defined benefit pension plan, which is mandatory for all state of Georgia employees. When you look at your paycheck, you see where it's like $26.57.
Yeah.
That's the amount that you were paying into your retirement, your pension with ERS. The 401k, that's that GSEP 401k. That's optional for employees who came on board from January 2009 to current. You're able to contribute from 5% up to 20% in the 401k, and there's an employer match where your employer pays 3% towards your 401k plan. So when you're looking at your check and you see that one, that's the 401k plan that you opted to contribute to.
Okay, so I need to schedule a meeting today or tomorrow with someone to go over the Georgia Defined Contribution Plan for me because I have no knowledge of this. I need to understand it. I need to understand how to access that to make my allocation changes. So who do I schedule that with? And I need a PowerPoint, the whole 9 yards, because I need an actual orientation.
There's a one-sheeter that the retirement system provides us with the Georgia Defined Contribution Plan. We can submit that to you because you actually, on that one sheet, it forms employees. You actually log into the retirement system to set up a profile under the Georgia Defined Contribution Plan. So we'll send that to you, and it just states on there that you're contributing 7.5% into this account. If you leave employment, that amount can be refunded. If you're going back, I'm under the understanding July 1st, you may be going back under the other retirement plan. So that money that you have in a Georgia Defined Contribution Plan, that money can be refunded to you, or that money that you have in that account can be applied towards the 401k plan as a salary benefit, full benefit employee.
Is there
So you
any
don't lose the money.
Yeah, but here's my deal. This is practical in my world. So you're taking, I didn't know I had to contribute to this. You all found an error. An 11th hour decision was made to take the money and put it in, even though from my perspective, I've been paying into an employment program because I had zero knowledge of this Georgia Defined Contribution Plan. And so now you're taking my money and now it's going to be on hold. And then I now, once I become a full-time employee, now go through additional paperwork to get it refunded and or rolled over. So is there a fee, a refund fee? I don't want to get double taxed or anything. Where do I find that information about?
It's as well as on the ERS website. There is no fee because you're not pulling money out of account. You're just placing your money in another account. So you're not withdrawing. So it's not considered as an early withdrawal. You're just applying money that you have in one retirement account to another account. So you can roll over your Georgia Defined Contribution Plan. So if you had a 401k plan with another provider, Peach State Reserve gives you the option of rolling the money that you have outside the state of Georgia. You can roll that money into the 401k account as well.
If I wanted a refund, is there any penalty?
There's
Because
there's no penalty.
it still takes 4 to 6 weeks. So essentially, the state is holding money. Go ahead.
Well, it's approximately 4 to 6 weeks before you receive that refund or Georgia Defined Contribution Plan, because that information, why they're stating 4 to 6 weeks, when you receive that last deduction that's been taken for Georgia Defined Contribution Plan in the system, that information has to be terminated. Then ERS picks up this information, so they actually send out a paper check. So all of this is a big process, because when that Georgia Defined Contribution ends in your account, there's an actual end of month that payroll has to send over a report to the retirement system. They send it over to the retirement system each month. So when that information goes to the retirement system, they review everything, then they in turn send you a paper check. They state 4 to 6 weeks, but if you were to go into ERS and set up your profile, we're saying Mondays to holidays, you go on June 1st, set up your profile. You'll see where your account has been established under Georgia Defined Contribution. You'll see the amount that you have in that account.
So can you, upon us exiting this meeting, can you send that to me? So I can, I guess, start that process?
Sure.
Okay, so my next question is, I'm feeling not confident with actual benefits I'm supposed to be receiving. I have the information from you from 218. May I meet with somebody to go through all of my documents to make sure I understand what's applicable to me and what isn't applicable to me, what is the substitution? Because I'm very, very concerned. Again, all I know is I got handouts and I went through WageWorks and whatever the other systems did it, and now this is happening. So can I please set up a meeting to go through those, and somebody think, Shelley, this is relevant to you, this is not to you? Because I am not an HR person. And so when I saw money being taken out from retirement with no prior knowledge of the Georgia Defined Contribution Plan, I would have no way of knowing there was an issue.
Well, no funds have been taken out, but you will just see that the funds have been taken out this pay period on 5/31 for Georgia Defined Contribution Plan. Prior to that, monies were not taken out for Georgia Defined Contribution.
Right, but they're not going to stop the contribution for GSEPS, are they? And do I actually have health insurance? Because I'm paying for that. I just want somebody to go through and go through everything I see on those handouts, and somebody say, that's not you, that is you. So I'm 100% clear for these next 6 weeks what Dr. Boardman gets from the state and what I don't.
Okay.
Yes, Dr. Boardman, we can definitely schedule That will be with Sonia and I. We can schedule it.
Okay, great. Let's schedule that right now because I value your time and I don't want to get lost in an email serve. So what's your schedule like tomorrow? The only thing I have is a 1 o'clock that I'm actually committed to.
I think Felicia's checking her schedule.
Okay, thank you.
I'm available in the afternoon. I'm available first thing in the morning from like about 8:30 till 10. Then I have a meeting then all afternoon tomorrow.
My schedule's pretty flexible tomorrow.
So to be honest, so I don't have to keep stressing over this because this is pretty much, I'm not sleeping. It's just incredibly stressful for me. Can we do the first thing in the morning so maybe I'll have some closure?
Sure. I mean, that's fine with me. What, 8:30?
Perfect.
Sonia, is 8:30 good for you?
Yes, 8:30 is fine.
So I will send a Teams invite right now.
Thank you.
And I just want to clarify something, Shelley. As I've communicated the entire time, you're not eligible. You never were eligible for GSEPs according to what the entire retirement systems manual says. So, you know, you should never have been in there. Now, I wasn't aware.
Yeah, and again, I can't control anyway.
Right.
I now know, and I'll ask insanely detailed questions. So thank you for clarifying that.
And I got the email that you submitted to me, Christina,
Yeah.
based on what ERS told us she was eligible.
Well, that's not what that manual says. So we can only go by what they put in writing.
I make sure they're going to continue taking GSEPs out plus this. So see, also, I'll talk about tomorrow, but I need reaccess. I got to go through that whole thing again because this is a game changer. You're going to take out $950 and another $159, and I'm still playing into an account that theoretically I'm not supposed to have access to. So I need to have that all reopen and allow me now, based upon informed decision making, I need to be able to have the opportunity to fix all that, right? Because I investing $190 in an account that now I have to invest an additional $179. So that changes my financial landscape for me. But we can talk about that tomorrow, how I need to.
I think you're confusing the two because the GSEP's 401k, that's not the pension retirement plan. So when you look at your pay stub, you'll see an ERS, that's the pension for ERS. When you're referring to GSEPs, that's the 401k plan.
Correct, but see, I did not know anything about this GPS plan, so I participated in the 401k. So now you're choosing to mandatory contribute to an account I didn't have privy information to. So now I'm not going to contribute to the one I'm theoretically not supposed to be because I can't afford for next 3 pay periods to have 170 plus this mandatory. Then you guys are taking an additional 956 for some error that's beyond me. And that, you know what I'm saying? I need the ability to stop GSEPS.
Okay. That's the 401k plan is optional, so you can stop that at any time.
Okay, so you're comfortable. I need to go through each one of those handouts. So I think it was Sonia who did them when I got employed full time about 3 years ago. She did the most amazing face to face, and we actually got to ask questions. So I need somebody to go through those PowerPoints and walk me through it. Then I'm going to go into that system, and I just need that conversation. Yeah.
Okay, so I just sent the invite for tomorrow, just for us to go through your benefits
Okay, great.
in the morning.
Okay, and then my next question is, because of all this, okay, great. And so then you'll confirm insurance and stuff. Okay, so the next one is, I would like to participate. I'm becoming a full-time employee July 1. I would like to participate in the full-time employee because I want to totally 100% understand all those contributions and everything. I was reduced to 20 hours, then 25. I was fortunate to move up to 75. And now with this latest communication challenge, I want to start from scratch. I want to have an opportunity to hear, ask questions about the packet instead of just receiving it. And then I want the opportunity to go in and make a sound, informed financial decision for all my benefits. So may I get on that schedule?
Yes, we can put you in for, you mean the July 1 orientation?
Yes, and is that
Yes.
Well-
I mean, 'cause you don't, there's no paperwork or anything that's required, so you can actually just sit in on the benefits portion of it again.
is it virtual?
It's gonna be virtual, but Sonia does a PowerPoint and kind of goes through everything. Well, a condensed version since we don't want people sitting on the phone for like 3 or 4
Okay, great.
hours.
But there's still an opportunity though, if people have questions, to ask questions, or if they have follow-up questions, to have a way to
You can
do that.
email us all the time, yeah. You can email us, call us, yeah, that's not a problem. But we can definitely put you on the list to attend for the benefits only portion, because the rest of it, you don't need to be a part of, Dr. Boardman. It's just a matter of us switching your employment status in the system in that regard, but the benefits portion, you're more than welcome to sit in.
Okay, and that's Thursday, July 1.
It should be scheduled. We don't have any scheduled stuff out there yet, but it's typically the first business day, the first
Okay.
and the 16th. So it is potentially scheduled for Thursday, July 1st.
Okay, great. And then if needed, I mean, I'm learning and I will become highly educated on this because now because I don't like not understanding, but can I, if needed, may I schedule a time that you all can meet with me and Peach State Reserves regarding this whole Georgia Defined Contributions Plan and the conversion? Because I can't have this messed up.
Sure, if you'd like us to be on the phone, that's fine. So you're gonna schedule something and just let us know?
Okay, great. All right. Well, thank you. Go ahead.
Chris got back to me and he said, you know, he kind of said what Felicia said, the sooner the better, but it looks like we have, if payroll runs on Friday, it looks like we have, you know, you have definitely through tomorrow and, you know, maybe a little bit more time than that. So it doesn't have, you know, we do have that little bit of time regarding, you know, when we would have to stop the direct deposit. So I just wanted you to know that. But the longer we wait, obviously, the longer for the check to go out. I'm assuming.
So
Right.
if you guys, when you find out whomever, like, again, I understand we can't lock people in, but based on their professional experience in this situation, how long will it take? The timeline for the paper check distribution would be super helpful so I can make an informed decision on payments or just taking it out in the next paycheck versus this one.
Okay, so I will reach out as soon as we hang up.
Okay, great.
And try to see if we can get a response as soon as we can.
Okay, well, I appreciate y'all's time. Thank you very much.
Okay, that was the only thing we owed you back, Dr. Boardman, right? Was that response about the timeline for the checks or reissue of the check, right?
Yes, and then the one page about Georgia Defined Contribution Plan and how to sign up and that information.
All right. Okay, well, we'll definitely get back with you in regards to the information about payroll. You should get an email from Sonia shortly with the GDCP information.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate your help.
All right, have a great afternoon.
Thanks. Bye.